Okay, so how to hack anything. So I gave a hackathon yesterday and I had a lot of good questions. Basically, I want to show you the framework that I use to, well, be able to hack anything. It basically resolve around asking ourselves three or four questions. So let's take an example for a small example, just a fence. So why is the first question? Why is there a fence? So the goal of the fence is to prevent, well, physical body to enter a place that they shouldn't be, right? So that's why the people or the company put that in place. So what it means is if it's not doing a job properly, meaning if I can jump over the fence, like do a dig a hole under the fence or something like that, it will, well, I will have bypassed that control. Um, so how it's doing it? It's a physical body, meaning like we can't physically go past through it. So if the fence, the bar of the fence are too wide and we can sneak into it, it would be a bad design. Basically, it's doing its job by just taking much space and preventing somebody from either jumping or something like that. And the other question is what we control. So how can we affect the fence? Like, can we put heat over it? Like, is it how is it supposed to be open? I'm sure there's like maybe a gate, a passcode, or something like that. So how to attack it would be what we would be controlling. So if we're able to jump over it, if we're able to dig over the hole, if we're able to like use an airplane or something like that, it would bypass the fence, right? So it's an easy example in the real world. You can we use the same example as a door. So what is the door supposed to do? Why is it there? To prevent somebody who doesn't have the key or the passcode to enter, similar to a password. How can we How is it doing it? Again, it's a physical barrier. So if there's just a door and nothing else, you will be able to bypass it, so it's useless. So if the door isn't locked, it's useless as well. So what do we control? We control what we put over the hole. We control, well, the physical things we do. Like, can we use an hammer to attack the door, stuff like that. Let's get let's get back into the technical side. If there's a WAF, like a web application firewall, why it's there? It's there to filter web requests that enters the web server so that they're not malicious. How does it do it? They have a set of rules, they analyze the traffic, they try and detect if it's malicious or not. What do we control? We control what we put on the URL and on the payload. So if we're able to put something that the WAF would not deem malicious, and the web server on the other side would interpret it as something that's malicious, we would have bypassed the control. A WAF usually have some rules in place, so let's say it blocks slash admin or something like that. If we're able to do a slash admin, that the rule of the WAF doesn't trigger it, so maybe it's a capital case admin, maybe it's an administrator, maybe it's everything, maybe it's basically for encoding. I mean, it will depend on the web server behind it. But if the WAF doesn't think it's malicious and the web server on the other side thinks it is, it's a way to bypass some control. The interesting part is to be clever about finding out what would bypass that, but it's a good way to approach a problem in a broad sense. So another way to bypass a WAF would be to just understand why it's there and how it's configured. Usually, a lot of people put WAF in place, they change the main DNS of the domain, meaning like when you go to the www.hacksafe.education, it redirects to Cloudflare. So that's the normal way to interact with it. But if the firewall was never changed in the first place before the integration, it probably means that the web server, the public IP address of the web server of Hacksafe Authentication in that case, still listen over the internet. So we could scan the internet to find it and interact with it directly without passing through the WAF. So it's just understanding how things are configured and how can you like fiddle with it and attack it. So you need to understand why the control is in place, how it's doing what it's doing, and pretty much what room or wiggle room you have about it. This framework will probably be more clear around the, well, the more I'm explaining it, and still like in my head, but it helped some people, at least in the hackathon yesterday, so I thought I'd share that with you. So let me know if you want, well, to learn more about cybersecurity. I started the online school community for free. So if you want to ask me questions, stuff like that, so that I can pretty much know where you guys need more help, you can join via the link below. Until then, next time, stay active, guys.